అలాగే మా అందరి లైఫ్లో ఉండడం అలాంటి ఇద్దరు వ్యక్తులు చాలా చాలా ముఖ్యం. ఇది నిజంగా థ్యాంక్ యూ వాళ్ళిద్దరికీ మనస్ఫూర్తిగా నేను ధన్యవాదాలు చెప్పుకుంటున్నాను. మా లాంటి వాళ్ళందరినీ ప్రోత్సహిస్తూ సపోర్ట్ చేస్తున్నందుకు. చిరంజీవి గారు 4 సార్లు విన్నారు ఈ కథ. బహుశా నా కథలు కూడా అంత టైం అంత సమయం ఇచ్చారో లేదో నాకు గుర్తులేదు, కానీ వైష్ణవ్కి అంత సమయం ఇచ్చారు. సినిమా చూసిన తర్వాత మీ అందరికన్నా ఒక 2 రోజులు ముందు చూశారు. చూసి ప్రొడ్యూసర్లకి ఇచ్చిన భరోసా మామూలు భరోసా కాదు. అలాంటి వ్యక్తులు ఇలా ఉండడం, ఆ భరోసా కోవిడ్ సమయం అయిపోయిన తర్వాత ఫస్ట్ ఫిలిం ఇంత గ్రాండ్ స్కేల్గా మీ అందరి మీద పెట్టిన నమ్మకాన్ని మేము నిలబెట్టినందుకు థ్యాంక్ యూ వన్స్ అగైన్. గోదావరి జిల్లాలో పుట్టి మీరందరూ ఇలాగా ఎంతో ఉత్సాహం ఇచ్చిన మా అందరికీ, మా కుటుంబ సభ్యులకి మీ అందరికీ చేతుల ధన్యవాదాలు చెప్తూ, ఇంకా అంతేనా? థ్యాంక్ యూ అబ్బాయిలు, ఎంజాయ్ చేయండి. సమయం ఉంటే మళ్ళీ వెళ్ళి చూడండి. నేను ఇక్కడే ఉన్నాను మారేడుమల్లిలో షూటింగ్ చేస్తూ, బహుశా హైదరాబాద్కి వెళ్ళి మళ్ళీ ఈ సినిమా చూడాలని ఉంది. థ్యాంక్ యూ వన్స్ అగైన్.
Let's go. Okay. There's an ambush. Play it safe. Cover me! Cover me! Cover me!
Hello and welcome here to Talk FCB and welcome back to the channel, guys. I imagine that quite a few of us waking up this morning not exactly how we want to be feeling. It is not good, it doesn't feel good, I'm still frustrated, I'm still angry, but most of all, I'm just disappointed. I'm really deflated after yesterday's game. So first of all, I want to thank you if you are here, if you are listening right now, if you are tuning into the video, I appreciate that. It is difficult right now, we've been here before, we've been here too many times before, but in today's video, we're going to try and stay as calm as possible and basically discuss what went wrong, who's to blame, where does the responsibility for this kind of result lie, and most importantly, how do we get past this? How do we move past this kind of stage, this kind of mental state that we find ourselves in? How do we move forward? It's coming up today. Thanks again, guys. Let's get to it. Because before we go into exactly where the responsibility lies, what I want to say before we even get started on that is that yes, although people may be tired of hearing it, we are still seeing the effects of what Bartomeu did over his tenure as president of this club. It's as simple as that. What he did and the mess that he put us in, we won't get out overnight. It simply will not be fixed that quickly. Even when the new board come in, it is going to take time to eradicate all of those problems that he rooted within this team. So whatever happens, whether it's the coach, whether it's the players, whatever we saw last night, still, there are things there from Bartomeu's reign, from the poor management, from all of that stuff that is still going to linger over this team, and we cannot get away from that. And of course, one of those things was actually keeping our leader, keeping our captain, keeping our talisman against his will last summer. Lionel Messi, of course, forced to stay at the club. He didn't want to. He wanted to leave in the summer. He wanted to go somewhere where he could win the Champions League. That doesn't look like here, at least not right now. And the question will be, is Messi now going to leave at the end of the season? Many people are asking themselves that question, and I am interested to know what you think. Do you feel as though this result here will tip Messi over the edge?
When you think of accounting and finance, what comes to mind?
Will he definitely now want to leave Barcelona? Because I think particularly what he has said in the past there is not just about winning the Champions League, but he said before that if you lose, that's okay, but you have to compete. We were far from competing yesterday, and that certainly won't have gone down well. And look, let's be honest here, it wasn't a great game for Messi either. It wasn't a great game by his very high standard. He wasn't at his absolute best. I would say, though, he actually played the pass that won the penalty. He then dispatched that penalty in brilliant fashion, and he also created a brilliant chance for Ousmane Dembele, which could have made it 2-0. So even on a bad night, even on a poor night, you may say, for Lionel Messi, he still could have been a deciding factor there in putting us 2-0 ahead. But look, I knew that we were in trouble yesterday. As soon as you saw Messi getting the ball, actually at one point, he got it behind our centre-backs. He received the ball behind Longley, behind Piqué on the halfway line. When Messi is getting the ball there, you know you're in trouble. Because that tells me there that he's not happy happy with what's going on ahead of him up the pitch. He's not happy there with the service that he's getting. He doesn't really trust the midfield, the defence to find him. And when Messi drops in there, you definitely have problems. And of course, people will say, is it then the fault of Ronald Koeman? And look, we're under no illusions here. He's got to take some of the blame. At the end of the day, he is the head coach at Barca. He picks the team. He makes the big decisions. He makes the big calls. And of course, he's in charge of the tactics. He will know that he has to take here the full brunt of criticism. He's got to take responsibility, and he will fully understand that. You look at our record this season in big games, it's not been good. That has been one of, by far, Koeman's biggest failures. We lost to Real Madrid in La Liga, comfortably to Real Madrid, by the way. We lost to Atletico in La Liga. We've lost to Athletic in the final of the Super Cup. We've lost now to Sevilla in the Copa del Rey, and now PSG. In big games, Koeman is still yet to make his mark as the Barca coach, and as time goes on, that is going to hurt him. You cannot be the Barca coach if you do not have success in big games. But of course, as he said so many times, we are in a transitional season.
Yeah, I'm leaving.
You'll leave.
Don't just live life, maxify it.
After getting stuck on an accounting problem for hours, my mind was toast. It was time to try Chegg Study. First, I used step-by-step solutions that made my tricky tech.
And I will agree with that. We are in a period now where we are going through the motions. And I would also say now, looking at these Champions League embarrassments, we've had Valverde, we've had Setien, we've now had Ronald Koeman. And I would say there that the problems, the bad habits, all of that stuff, it started with Valverde. We had a bad game against Bayern under Quique Setien, and now this under Koeman. But 3 different coaches, 3 different seasons. At some point here, you've got to say, you know what? Maybe we should start taking a look too at some of the players. And I really do mean that here, because we have to sit down and say, right, you look at Roma, Liverpool, Bayern, now PSG. What is the common denominator? Because quite clearly here, this is a pattern, and you need to find a way to break that pattern. Yet for some reason, we just don't seem to want to do it. You look at the defence of that team yesterday, how bad it was, and then I tell you that against Roma, Ter Stegen, Piqué, Alba, Busquets, Messi, all started that game. That's 5 of that team 4 years ago. 4 years ago, we've still got nearly half of the same team that failed against Roma. You look at the team that faced Liverpool. We've got over half, 6 of those. We've got all the same players, plus Clement Longley, and 7 of the same team that started against Bayern, started last night against Paris Saint-Germain. 7 of the team who conceded 8 goals. And you just think, how? How can that happen? If you keep doing the same thing, if you keep lining up with a very similar defence, of course, you're going to be in trouble. It will actually get even worse as time goes on, because these players are getting even worse. They're not getting better. They're actually suffering even more. And I would just try something new. There is no reason here. Koeman says time and time again that we're in a transitional year. Well, I like it then. Do something different to what we've done before, because I would rather try something new and then fail trying to do that. I would rather see us fall down flat doing something different than just doing the same thing over and over and over again, because you know what? We're failing anyway. We're suffering embarrassments, humiliations, big defeats anyway. So why not try something new? There is no reason here. You look at it right now. We're 3rd in La Liga, miles away from Atletico Madrid. We're 2-0 down in the Copa after the first leg to Sevilla. We're all but out of the Champions League. Just try something new. You have the rest of the season. He can't be sacked right now. There's no board in charge. So he has an opportunity here to say, you know what? I'm just going to rip things up now. We're going to start playing some of the younger players. I'm looking there, particularly in defence. Araujo, I said it yesterday. Araujo and Mingueza at the heart of that defence. At left back, I would love to see Alejandro Balde get a chance in the first team. In midfield, you're looking at players there like Ricky Puig, but also even players like Jandro Orellana, somebody at Barcelona be there who's really impressed, hasn't even had a look in the first team. And then up front, you've got players there like Trincao. He should be getting more starts in this team. Conrad, even Alex Collado. There are players in this team, and good young players that we we have, and that's what I would cling on to right now, guys. We do have really, really talented youngsters. We have to see them. Give them now that platform to build from, because we're not going anywhere. We're treading water. We're going backwards. Do something new. The time has come. It's been that time for ages now. We need change. And like I said, guys, obviously the disappointment of the result, it's going to be there. There's no getting around that. Of course, as a Barcelona fan, as any sort of fan, you don't want to go through those nights. And particularly, you don't want to go through those nights every single season with a feeling there of inevitability. And that is really, really sad that a club like ours has actually got to the point now where we kind of expect these moments. And that's why today, actually, we're kind of used to this feeling now. And how bad, how sad does that sound? That we're actually right now getting used to this feeling. But what I would say is those elections, they are coming. It is so frustrating to me that we've had to wait this long. The start of March is when we'll finally get our new president. But that is the moment there that you cling on to. That is the moment where we can finally take a step forward. We know they've got financial problems. I don't think we're going to be able to come in the summer and bring in mega signing after mega signing. But I also don't think that's what we need. We need to go back here, back to basics, trust in our young players. We're going to have to do that anyway. And let's see some freshness. The ball a bit longer that every single time we were losing it. And Griezmann actually turned around, told a leader, somebody there like Piqué, he said, calm down. Calm down! We're getting smashed again in the Champions League and you want to calm down, earning over 300,000 a week. Many of these players are on astronomical wages. Nobody needs to calm down. We need to focus. We need a team who gets us back on track with players that we can for getting involved. It is not an easy time right now, and of course I invite you as well to leave all of those thoughts down below. If you are not doing so good today, if you're not feeling so great, please leave all those emotions and exactly what you're feeling right now down in the comments below. And I'm sure that we're all going to be happy there to talk it over and somehow try and find a way to get through this darkness once again. Thanks for watching, guys. There will be more to come, and eventually we will get it right. And when we do, we will celebrate it. I'll see you soon, guys. But until next time, as always, Visca El Barça.
कैमरा क्वालिटी के लिए और लाइटनिंग के लिए सॉरी, बट ये वीडियो बनाने का बिल्कुल मन नहीं था क्योंकि काफ़ी नेगेटिविटी हो गई थी कल रात को, काफ़ी सही में अजीब माहौल हो गया था. बट
Enemy!
द माहौल गॉट इवन वियर्डर व्हेन आई टेल यू कि मुझे काफ़ी मैसेजेस आए, मजाक नहीं कर रहा, बट उनमें से 13-14 मैसेजेस, एंड मैंने से 13-14 एग्जैक्टली 13-14 मैसेजेस वर लॉन्ग पैराग्राफ्स, बड़े बड़े पैराग्राफ्स ऑफ बारसा फैंस स्टेटिंग क्लब का पास्ट एंड बोलते कि वो कैसी टीम थी, वो क्या 2009 की सेक्सटेबल वाली टीम थी, ठीक है, एंड कंपेयरिंग इट टू द प्रेजेंट एंड इन द एंड स्टेटिंग द वर्ड कि दे वुड हर्ट देमसेल्व्स. मतलब एक गलत वर्ड यूज किया था जो मैं यूज करूंगा नहीं, बट वो अपने को नुकसान पहुंचाएंगे जस्ट बिकॉज बारसा अच्छा नहीं खेल रहे हैं, वो सब ठीक है, विच इज अंडरस्टैंडेबल कि तुम खुश नहीं होगे, ठीक है, डिप्रेशन, ठीक है, वो तो काफी बड़ी वर्ड है, बड़ा वर्ड है, ठीक है, बट शिट गॉट रियल एंड इट गॉट टू मी, एंड आई थिंक मेरा पूरा पर्सपेक्टिव रिगार्डिंग दिस वीडियो चेंजेस अ बिट. एंड मैंने पिछली वीडियो में काफी, तुमको पता है 80 वाली वीडियो बनाई थी, मैंने काफी फुटेज खाई थी कि मेंटल हेल्थ को सपोर्ट करता, ठीक है, बट इट्स गेटिंग रियल. काफी लोग सही में बहुत डिप्रेस्ड है, एंड द रीजन वाई कि जब तुम 14 गेम्स अनबीटन जाते हो ला लीगा में, सॉरी ऑल कंपटीशन में, देन हो पाती है, तुम बारसा हो पाती है, पीएसजी ट्रांजिशन में अंडर पोस्टेटिनो हो पाती है, होप चुकी है, कोई बात नहीं, बट दिस इज अ मैसेज टू ऑल द बार्सिलोना फैंस आउट देयर, एंड व्हेन आई से टू ऑल, अगर तुम इससे रिलेट करते हो तो गुड, बट मां की चूत पास्ट की, सॉरी टू से मां की चूत क्रॉयफ फुटबॉल की, सॉरी टू से मां की चूत पास्ट की. द ग्रेटनेस ऑफ बार्सिलोना इन माई ओपिनियन बीइंग अ न्यूट्रल द बेस्ट टीम आई एवर सॉ 2011 वीडियो बनाई थी मैंने 2011 बारसा पे. द ग्रेटनेस ऑफ बार्सिलोना इज द डाउनफॉल ऑफ बार्सिलोना राइट नाउ. क्यों? क्योंकि सितिन को बारसा में आना पड़ रहा है और प्लीज करना पड़ रहा है बारसा फैंस को, और उन्हें खड़ा करना पड़ रहा है कि मैं क्रॉय फिलॉसफी प्रॉमिस करूंगा. क्यों? पर तेरी टीम में विदाल है, जावी, इनिएस्टा, बुस्केट्स प्राइम, ये एरा वंस इन अ जनरेशन एरा होते हैं, और ये फॉर ऑल द टाइम होते हैं, ये ग्रेटनेस होती है प्रॉपर. लाइफ में चेंज इज द प्रॉपर रियल कॉन्सेप्ट, मुझे पता नहीं, एंड जो टीम इवॉल्व नहीं करती वो चुतती है बेसिकली. एंड आई एम टायर्ड ऑफ अ लॉट ऑफ बार्सिलोना फैंस स्टेटिंग कि बार्सिलोना तो स्पेसिफिक क्लब है, यहाँ पे तो स्पेसिफिक टाइप ऑफ फुटबॉल चलता है, यहाँ पे तो फिर नहीं चलेगा, नहीं अब नहीं चलता. पेप ग्वार्डियोला जो बार्सा का ग्रेट मैनेजर, डू यू थिंक ही प्लेस द सेम फुटबॉल जो बार्सा में खेलता था? उसकी पूरी टीम ऑलमोस्ट अलग है. विदाउट द बॉल मैन सिटी बिल्कुल अलग एक्ट करती है एज हिज बार्सा साइड यूज्ड टू. सीन बिल्कुल अलग है. फुटबॉल इवॉल्व्स, उसकी टीम मच फिजिकल है, मोर इंटेंस है, क्योंकि ही प्लेज इन अ प्रीमियर लीग, क्योंकि ही इज नॉट डिल्यूजनल, एंड दिस इज द होल फैक्ट. बार्सा एक फार क्लब है, एंड ऑब्वियसली यू वुड वांट सर्टेन टाइप ऑफ प्लेयर्स. ऑब्वियसली अगर फ्रैंकी आएगा यू वुड वांट बॉल पोजीशन प्लेयर, ठीक है. कौन सी टीम विद द बॉल नहीं खेल, पीएसजी विद द बॉल खेल इस गेम में, बट इट वाज क्लियरली विजिबल, एंड आई अग्री कंप्लीटली. प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस कोमन की, एंड आई एम नॉट हियर टू से कि 10-19 साल का पेदरी अभी 18 का हुआ है, अभी 18 का, और अगर पीके लॉन्गले ना खेले, ठीक है, मिंगेजा एंड अरोखो 20-21 के हैं. द वन वर्ड जो काफी यूज था आफ्टर द गेम वाज फिजिकलिटी में डिफरेंस. क्या वो वर्ड सेम यूज नहीं था अगेंस्ट बायर्न? क्या वो वर्ड सेम यूज नहीं था अगेंस्ट लिवरपूल? क्यों? व्हाई डू वी स्टेट द पास्ट ऑफ बार्सिलोना टू अफर्म कि भाई हम तो ऐसा फुटबॉल खेलते हैं? भाई ऐसा फुटबॉल नहीं चलता. टेल मी एक ऐसी टीम यूरोपियन फुटबॉल में, कोई भी ऐसी टीम जो पोजीशन के साथ खेलती हो, विद द बॉल खेलती हो, और जिनकी मिडफील्ड में भड़वे हो. मैन सिटी रॉड्रिगो फिजिकल कैसे? फिजिकल है प्रॉपर, जाने देगा नहीं. जॉ कैंसेलो, बर्नार्डो सिल्वा, ये शर्ट पुल करते हैं, ये इनको बॉल चाहिए, बॉल दो में, ये इनका ऐसे होता है. बायर्न म्यूनिख में किमिच हरामी है. किमिच लिटरली 5 फुट पता नहीं 7-8 इंच का है, हेडर जीतेगा, सर फाड़ देगा अपना, हेडर जीतेगा. गोरेट्स्का लिटरली सूखी लकड़ी आता बायर्न में. फिजिकलिटी. इवन जुवेंटस में राबियो, बेंतांकुर सॉलिड. एट दिस वेरी मोमेंट आई डोंट थिंक सो कोई ऐसी टीम होगी यूरोपियन फुटबॉल में who has a midfield like Barcelona, and they would expect, क्योंकि ये चीजें ला लीगा में चल जाएंगी, बट when it comes to European football हमें पता नहीं भैया. बस ये बोलना भी काफी आसान है यहाँ पे घर बैठ के कि बार्सा को फिजिकलिटी चाहिए. कैसे होगी? आई थिंक जो आने वाला बोर्ड है लपोर्टा, अगर वो इस बात से उठ जाए, जो भी होगा, जो भी बोर्ड आ रहा है, ठीक, वो इस बात से उठ जाए कि क्लॉय फिलॉसफी चलेगी,
Begini dong,
10 साल वेट करो क्या जावी इनिएस्टा एरा ऐसे आ गया था रेड कार्ड में अपनी गांड घिसाई थी, तब जाके कुछ हुआ था। वो बुरा टाइम था। ग्वार्डियोला ऑल ऑफ अ सडन आया एंड देन एक परफेक्ट टाइम था फुटबॉल के जगत में जब ला मसिया से वैसे प्रोडक्ट निकल रहे थे। वंस इन अ जनरेशन ये बार बार चीजें नहीं होती। सिंपल तो हुएवर कम्स नेक्स्ट बारसा के बोर्ड में हैज टू मूव ओवर द फैक्ट एंड एक्सेप्ट द फैक्ट कि फुटबॉल इवॉल्व कर रहा है। फुटबॉल इज इवॉल्विंग। ग्वार्डियोला हैज इवॉल्व्ड एंड सो नीड्स बारसा को भी इवॉल्व करना है। नॉट कि तुम डिफेंसिव हो जाओ और बॉल के साथ ना खेलो, बट टू ओनली फाइंड प्लेयर्स जो लिटरली छोटे हो, जो लिटरली वही टेक्निकल फुटबॉल हमको वही रेप्लिकेट करना जो नहीं, वो फुटबॉल है नहीं। वो ला लीगा में चल जाएगा, यूरोप। नॉट सेइंग कि यू शुड डिच पेद्री, वो फाड़ है लिटरली। और 18
तो nomor 1 ada, nomor 2
फ्रैंकी वो
nomor 1
इंटेंस
ada
है।
spasticnya nih,
एंड
lokasi nih
ऑब्वियसली
sini.
सर्कियो बुस्केट्स विल वन डे
bisa,
एंड
zona dulu.
रिप्लेसमेंट आएगी कोई ना कोई, ठीक है, बट इट्स अ लॉन्ग टर्म प्रोसेस एंड दिस इज व्हाट आई वांट टू टेल बारसा फैंस कि चुटकी से नहीं होता। एंड अगेन क्या तुमने एक्सपेक्ट किया था आफ्टर लूजिंग टू 8 बायर्न
Ada nggak nomor
बारसा सब
1?
कुछ करेगी?
Nih gua kasih.
अभी बारसा टॉप 4 में, बारसा आई थिंक 7-8 गेम पता नहीं कितना ला लीगा में अनबीटन है, व्हिच इज नॉट बैड। एंड जैसे ये ग्रीजमैन ने बोला व्हिच इज द हार्श ट्रुथ कि प्रोफेशनलिज्म की तरह, प्रोफेशनल्स की तरह वी हैव टू रिज्यूम द सीजन। ये बकचोदी एंड दैट्स हाउ इट शुड बी।
Thank you.
Mau pakai peredam nggak lo nomor 2, woi?
Enemy.
Depan gua udah di looting nih sama orang.
I got this crazy idea. I thought,
I know people aren't really interested in what happened in this game. Anything I mentioned that Barca did right will be met with legions of people telling me that Barcelona should be relegated and is the worst club in the world. I know that most people just clicked on this video to let me know that all hope is lost. My optimism was misguided and we should always accept defeat. That's fine. You can put that in the comments. Everyone will be so proud of you that you deduced that Barca isn't good enough. That Busquets and PK looked beyond it. Dest didn't look ready for it. Lenglet, Dembele, Griezmann and Alba looked out of it. And Idrissa Gana Gueye. To start this match, Barcelona attempted to defend in a 4-5-1 to deal with the very narrow front three of PSG. As expected, PSG got off on the right foot. No time for pleasantries. This game kicked off with a ball over the top of Mbappe that Ter Stegen had to get right on the save. We saw in the early going as well, Dembele was seeing some space out on that right wing, and he could win the matchup against Kurzawa, and there were certainly moments in this match where if that matchup goes differently, there's a different result. First 10 minutes, the game felt a bit too big for Pedri. He misplayed a pass that led to a PSG break and had the ball taken off him by Gana Gueye that led to a corner kick and some PSG possession. But in the 19th minute, Mbappe was finally set free and Icardi can't get enough of the shot, and Pedri was the one who came back to clear it off the line. A minute later, Pedri also took the ball of Idrissa Gana Gueye and then got fouled for a free kick. So hot and cold, the thesis there for Pedri in the first half. 14th minute, so in between those two sequences, was the first real chance for Barcelona. Pedri playing between the lines, finding Griezmann, and Kimpembe and Navas closed him down. But it was a chance. All started when Messi dropped deep to receive. In the early going, yes, in the early going, Barca's defensive transition was actually pretty good. PK picking the spots for the offside trap, handing off players and communicating really well, and Dest doing a good job dealing with Mbappe's positioning. That's going to change, obviously, but the statement that I made was that it started well, and the game plan was there, and obviously things came off the rails. However, this match looked like it could be in question. 26th minute, Messi over the top to De Jong, and he gets tripped up by Kurzawa. out a piece of his trailing leg for enough contact. Shame for them too, because either Kazawa or Kimpembe probably had it covered. PKs have been a point of discussion this season, but Messi was on the field for this one, so he was taking it, and he left no doubts. So Barcelona did take a 1-0 lead in the 28th minute for Messi, his 16th penalty in the Champions League. The moment where this all could have changed was just a few seconds even after the goal was scored. It should have been 2-0, but Dembele wasn't clinical enough right after Barca scored, and then this match got turned on its head. 32nd minute, Busquets wanting help. You could actually see him scream out, cutting out the counter, and no one was with him. Nobody stepped together. That's on Coleman. The defense.
First impressions can be hard, but it's always good to start. Be it showing up for class.
Within and around the 99,000 vacant seats here. 41 days since their world collapsed here. Has charge of PSG's semi against Leipzig. Young, Pedri and Dembele. Lionel Messi, Champions League match. Strutting straight in. All glitz and glamour. With an evidently winnable game against Alaves were able to afford, especially so. Lifted over the top by Verratti, and Mbappe could be in here. And the goalkeeper has sived it partially clear. Just smartly away from De Jong. Feeding it here for Jason. They made the block, Paredes made the clearance. That's exactly where Kazawa. Florin. Griezmann. Cap to be again for a game of this consequence. And here's Moise Keane. Just behind the penalty spot there, in by Paredes.
Commits to attack and it has to be spot on. It has to get the timing just right.
To get forward, he's broken the challenge of Dembele. Kazawa's cross, Gay. Kazawa on De Jong and I'll flick through delightfully for Mauro Icardi, and young Pedri got back in the nick of time.
Well, you can hear the appeals from the Barca defence.
That's a good steal by Pedri, and Idrissa Gueye, in desperation, went nibbling back in and must to start again. He's found Messi. Messi gives it him back. That was smart. Verratti's tackle was clean. Paredes went over, and PSG can clear their lines.
Another one of those tackles.
PK, PSG the preeminent force, in by Paredes. It's a 2-8 defeat by Bayern Munich. They got away from the pair of them. Looking in towards De Jong, who has stumbled, tripped and won a penalty. Frenkie De Jong his ankle removed from beneath him, and his compatriot Dutch referee Bjorn Kuipers had next to no hesitation in Barcelona icon. Lionel Messi delivers as he has year on year on Champions League year, and Ronald Koeman has the uplift in the Nou Camp. Goal 6-5-4.
Well, he is rather good.
Infamous night. And here's Messi again. He's fiddled it through for...
Look, he trips himself. And Messi can then flick it through to Dembele, but that was weak.
By Icardi. Taken on by Florenzi. Aimed in and up. take from Paredes. Marking out towards Kurzawa. Nicked on by Verratti. And smashed in by Mbappe. A thunderous Parisian retort. For each side, the star has shone. Messi one moment, Mbappe the next. One each.
Their first shot on target too. But again, the space that Kurzawa's afforded, but I must admit, once it did find its way to Mbappe, it's just lovely little negotiation.
Played neutrally to Budapest. And again, steaming through the middle now. It's Antoine Griezmann. He's got a long way, and he has pulled it a very little distance wide. And Navas might well ask questions. Florenzi. Hit by Moise Keane and again test.
This is how fast YouTube is with Brave. Notice how there's no pre-roll ads? And here's how you can see how much time you save with Brave.
Stegen was required to be sharp.
On the goal, so
Quinhos. Put it a wall for Griezmann. Run through Dest, who won't have it. He does have to yield the corner. Yeah, I think. Jordi Alba. Passing from Barcelona. That is a wild challenge from him. Paredes. Putting it onto the chest of Verratti. Swung in by Mbappe and Cardi's header. Rippled the netting from the outside.
and they're guarded on that front post. We saw the corner from Verratti earlier on.
But it's a really good game.
Barcelona get the second half underway.
It's too big a risk to take to put him on the pitch in the second half.
Mbappe. Ter Stegen scrambling across his goal.
He didn't seem convinced, Ter Stegen. He was happy.
Messi. Eased away by Florenzi. Lovely opening, and it's PK's challenge. And what a save that is by Ter Stegen to keep out Moise Keane. Just wonder, Busquets in the final. Verratti. Dembele getting to the byline. Herrera. Messi. He couldn't quite get away from the challenge of Kim. It's Messi. The wall is Griezmann inside the 6-yard area. It is Griezmann. He was trying to peel away from Ander Herrera. Ronaldo. Florenzi. And battered in by Mbappe. Barcelona creating their own problem. Battered in by Mbappe. Barcelona creating their own problems again. The width found by PSG has been Barca's undoing. Nothing really on for them. But Florenzi didn't give up on that. And neither did Kylian Mbappe, who's claimed his second of the night. And a second. Driven in by Paredes. It's a free header, and there is a third goal. Moise Keane gets his reward. The Italian, who has found form again in France with Paris Saint-Germain, delivers again in the Champions League. Draxler, options both left and right. Mbappe, who completes the hat-trick in style. Magnificent. It's his night. It's PSG's night. Extraordinary. Not his first Champions League hat-trick. Got one against Brugger as a substitute a couple of years back. But he has stamped his authority on this season's Champions League with an outstanding performance.
It's very best. The teams I know are pumped for this. There are fantastic scenes in the stands. There is a great sense of drama here, a great sense of excitement and expectation.
You can rely on those players having difficult moments at the moment, and he's certainly not one of them. The team are in a sticky spell, and he's just been relentless. Keeps scoring constantly. The goals certainly at West Ham and another goal at Leicester as well, which was just phenomenal. Ice cold.
In the somewhat unfamiliar surroundings of Budapest, as the six-time winners take on a Leipzig side who knocked Spurs out a year ago and eliminated Manchester United in the group stages.
So off we go. Leipzig have only lost twice since the Champions League took a break in November. They're second to Bayern Munich in Germany and are the best defensive team in the Bundesliga. Leipzig confidence and Linder out of their minds. Foul here. It's headed away in there by Upamecano. Salah. Jorginho's cross, that's a nice ball onto Mo Salah, good for Liverpool, important save by Golashi, excellent football though by Liverpool to set it. Jorginho with the ball in, there's the first chance and that came off the post. I think he may have 7. There's Mo Salah though, with Sadio Mane in the middle, and defending done there by Upamecano. Adams looking forward, Sabitzer couldn't quite find Nkunku. That was a promising time in Leipzig defence. It's got Firmino supporting him, and it just needed to be a better ball. That was really promising for Liverpool. Trent Alexander-Arnold with the corner in towards Roberto Firmino. Marcel Sabitzer, and held on to by Alisson. He does pose a... And here's the chance for Firmino from the angle. And he hits the side netting. Well, it's a shot there to show just how keen the Leipzig players are to close Liverpool down when they've got the ball. Pressure by Salah, mistake by Klosterman, and then the header won by Upamecano. Here's Curtis Jones. There's Nkunku, Angelino. Well, he's been in good goal-scoring form this season. Here's a good position for Robertson, who can whip the cross in. A good ball as well to Salah, who can test himself against Upamecano, who is very good in those 1v1 situations. Campbell at times. Lovely ball in by Alexander-Arnold. Here's Roberto Firmino. Just snatched at the shot a little bit. Firmino, they're looking to pick out Mane in the middle, and he heads it over the bar, but it's another flowing move by Liverpool. Sabitzer. 3 in the middle for the cross, which was delivered in Dani Olmo. Good challenge though by Thiago. Liverpool had plenty back there. And Alexander-Arnold. It's taken by Trent Alexander-Arnold. Robertson just had a look to see where the keeper was. He's gone for it, and he almost got it. Great effort from a long, long way out by Robertson. And the goal... It's given away by Thiago. Back in by Sabitzer. Really effectively so far in the first half of this one.
Yeah, they've been excellent in this first half. Really good, solid.
At the end. It's given Leipzig the chance for possession in a good area, although they were looking for the free kick, which didn't. Chiellini, and then the miss kick by Mane, but he's got it back and it's gone in. It's been headed in by Roberto Firmino, but I think the referee said the ball might have gone out of... Off goes Mo Salah, small, and Golashi there to meet it for Leipzig. Arnold. Angelino's ball, Olmo in there again. That's a couple of times. He's just found a little bit of space between. Off goes on Kunku, out came Alisson, and dealt with it well. It's Leipzig 0, Liverpool 0. So a good 45 minutes in the first half for Liverpool. Let's see whether they can build on what they were able to do as the second half is about to get underway. So far for Liverpool by Mo Salah. He's been on 49 clean sheets for Liverpool for a few forward night.
I wanna be the sock.
No. Form up on me. Form up on me. Form up on me. Excellent work.
You see that? Right there. Huh?
on me. I'm going in. Okay.
Grafiknya lumayan seperti nih. Game deh katanya. Texture sana lagi. Texture bikin berapa ya? Tunggu dia.
No.
When you study at University Canada West, you'll find out why Vancouver, Canada was voted the third best city to live in by The Economist. MBA programs are popular around the world, but the location you choose to study in should be a top.
I know people aren't really interested in what happened in this game. Anything I mention that Barca did right will be met with legions of people telling me that Barcelona should be relegated and is the worst club in the world. I know that most people just clicked on this video to let me know that all hope is lost. My optimism was misguided and we should always accept defeat. That's fine. You can put that in the comments. Everyone will be so proud of you that you deduced that Barca isn't good enough. That Busquets and PK looked beyond it. Dest didn't look ready for it. Lenglet, Dembele, Griezmann and Alba looked out of it. This isn't going to be a positive review, obviously. But for those who love Barcelona, I do want to explain why this didn't have to be as bad as it turned out to be. There won't be much hope in this review, but an understanding of the team that Barca is right now, and the very good team that lies somewhere beneath the surface. And I guess that started with the starting 11. PK rushed back after 3 months out, and Dest rushed into the starting lineup after weeks dealing with a hamstring injury. We'll talk about the Dest versus Mingueza argument later, but if it wasn't PK, it would have been Umtiti. So for everyone saying that they want PK out, then you better have the courage to say you'd replace him with Umtiti, because that was the only other option. I guess Mingueza was the option that Francesca and I brought up as well, so I definitely understand that argument, but I also see why Koeman would want him to leave Mingueza on the bench as he's going to the depth, as we saw in that second half. On the PSG side of things, the question was going to be the 4-2-3-1 or the 4-3-3. Pochettino opted for the 4-3-3 with the midfield three of Verratti, Paredes, and Idrissa Gana Gueye. To start this match, Barcelona attempted to defend in a 4-5-1 to deal with a very narrow front three of PSG. As expected, PSG got off on the right foot. No time for pleasantries. This game kicked off with a ball over the top of Mbappe that Ter Stegen had to get right on the save. We saw in the early going as well, Dembele was seeing some space out on that right wing, and he could win the matchup against Kurzawa. And there were certainly moments in this match where if that matchup goes differently, there's a different result. First 10 minutes, the game felt a bit too big for Pedri. He misplayed a pass that led to a PSG break and had the ball taken off him by Ganagay that led to a corner kick and some PSG possession. But in the 19th minute, Mbappe was finally set free and Icardi can't get enough of the shot, and Pedri was the one who came back to clear it off the line. A minute later, Pedri also took the ball off Idrissa Ganagay and then got fouled for a free kick. So hot and cold, the thesis there for Pedri in the first half. 14th minute, so in between those two sequences, was the first real chance for Barcelona. Pedri playing between the lines, finding Griezmann, and Kimpembe and Navas closed him down. But it was a chance. All started when Messi dropped deep to the seat. In the early going, yes, in the early going, Barca's defensive transition was actually pretty good. Piqué picking the spots for the offside trap, handing off players and communicating really well, and Dest doing a good job dealing with Mbappe's positioning. That's going to change, obviously, but the statement that I made was that it started well, and the game plan was there, obviously things came off the rails. However, this match looked like it could be in question. 26th minute, Messi over the top to De Jong, and he gets tripped up by Kurzawa. The angle from behind clearly showing Kurzawa got a piece of his trailing leg for enough contact. Shame for them too, because either Kurzawa or Kimpembe probably had it covered. PKs have been a point of discussion this season, but Messi was on the field for this one, so he was taking it, and he left no doubts. The Barcelona did take a 1-0 lead in the 28th minute for Messi, his 16th penalty in the Champions League. The moment where this all could have changed was just a few seconds even after the goal was scored. It should have been 2-0, but Dembele wasn't clinical enough right after Barca scored, and then this match got turned on its head. 32nd minute, Busquets wanting help. You could actually see him scream out, cutting out the counter, and no one was with him. Nobody stepped together. That's on Koeman. The defensive frailties continue as Barcelona's press is not good enough. Individual mistakes, sure, but collectively, their press not good enough. This leads directly to the goal. Barca falling asleep, particularly Dembele. I mentioned Busquets, but this is so much on Dembele, leaving Dest to have to decide between two because he wasn't in the right position defensively. The diagonal ball to Kurzawa, to Verratti, who flicks on Mbappe, and he leaves Lenglet for dead. No chance for Ter Stegen, and not just Lenglet, Piqué, Dest. It wouldn't have mattered. Any defender that Barcelona has would have been left for dead with that move from Mbappe. So it's now 1-0. That gave life to PSG. Counterattack a few moments later, Mbappe gets one-on-one with Dest into Kurzawa, and Ter Stegen had to get a glove on it. Coming the other way, though, Griezmann just wide. Barca terrific on the counter. Pedri shielding the ball to Messi to get Griezmann off to the races. And right before halftime, very fortunate for Ter Stegen that Icardi's header was wide of the ensuing corner. Barca's focus certainly waned as halftime approached. That at halftime, Koeman could have recentered his team. Because I felt like the mistakes, yes, they would be perfect physically, due to the age of Piqué and Busquets and some of the issues, as far as the inexperience of even Dest, and at times, De Jong was hot and cold in this match as well. So you knew that they physically had to get it completely right, but I was disheartened to see that mentally the team couldn't be refocused at halftime. Because in the 50th minute, the counterattack we were told to fear, Mbappe playing off of Piqué's shoulder, and no one could take it off him unless they fouled him, so he's over to Keane, and Ter Stegen had to make another save. PSG then all over Barca for the first 10 minutes of the second half, growing in confidence with each passing pass, Mbappe and Verratti knowing that Barca couldn't take the ball off their feet. Barca were able to take some of the teeth out of the game, again for a bit there in the second half, PSG committing fouls, the handball shout that wasn't one, but Barca did start to take some control back. Then this match flipped, and here comes the 2-1. PSG took all the momentum, not only for this match, but in just one fell swoop, and this is the sad thing about the intensity, about the focus of Barcelona. Once they went down 2-1, you got the feeling that this was all over. Ter Stegen was stuck on his line. He should have done better on the second goal. Paredes to Florenzi over the top, barely onside, but it looked like Dest on the far sideline was keeping him onside because he had to deal with Mbappe. Piqué got a touch on the cross that came across the box, and it fell perfectly to Mbappe. A pretty easy goal. Stegen was stuck on his line. He should have done better on the second goal. Paredes to Florenzi over the top, barely onside, but it looked like Dest on the far sideline was keeping him onside because he had to deal with Mbappe. Piqué got a touch on the cross that came across the box, and it fell perfectly to Mbappe. A pretty easy goal for him to score, to be honest. He made easy work of it. Not too long after that, 3-1, Keane gets into the action. Barca unable Mbappe. Not good enough, not much to say about this one. Off the set piece, Paredes delivering it perfectly, and Keane going up to get it at the far post. I think when this is 0-0 or even 1-1, this goal isn't scored, but because the 2-1 was scored, Barca let this match slip away. This led to Mingueza coming on for Dest. Mingueza is better positioned, yes, but he commits a lot of fouls when players go past him, so I understand why Koeman was afraid to have him going one-on-one against Mbappe, where Dest could deal a bit more with the speed. Yes, Dest will make mistakes, but he does have the speed for the second attempt, and we saw in that first half, Dest was okay for maybe 50 minutes, and then things really came off the rails for him. We don't know how Mingueza would have done from the start, and I think either way, it would have been the wrong answer, because there is no right answer for Kylian Mbappe. And yes, I'm eating crow for my optimism that I think there was a game plan against Mbappe, that several teams this season have been able to bottle him a little bit, but Barcelona just don't have the personnel to do that. And yeah, I'm eating crow on the fact that Mbappe ran all over Barcelona. From the left to the center, I thought it would just be coming through the center channel on the counterattack, but Mbappe coming from the left, coming from the middle, all over Barcelona, also dropping deep when he had to as well. Ander Herrera and Julian Draxler come on for PSG. Herrera is the player that Barca wished Pjanic would be. Herrera is just a year older than Pjanic. He plays his role coming off the bench and plays for the team, while Pjanic is questioning his playing time in the last week. Pjanic did come on then along with Pubg and Trincao for Busquets, Piqué, and Pedri. Piqué, not good enough. Busquets, not good enough. That's the hardest part of it. To see players who mean so much to this club and have meant so much to this club for so long to be reduced to what we saw tonight, what we've seen now in the past few seasons as well in big moments in the Champions League. Griezmann did almost change the narrative just a little bit, scoring a goal right off the foot of Navas, but luck wasn't with Barca on the night either. So not only were they not good enough, but they weren't lucky either. 4-1, Mbappe got his hat-trick 5 minutes from full time. This is the counter-attack that you were prepared to see. Barcelona had too many bodies forward, and not too many, they had to throw bodies forward because this tie was basically over by that point already, and there was just too much space. Draxler taking the ball 50 to 60 yards on his own, and Mbappe finishing again rather easily for the hat-trick. Tonight, PSG was a superior team, and PSG finished their chances. Barca didn't finish their chances, but if they did, it's a different tie. I understand all the frustration, not being good enough. The fear that Messi is going to leave during the summer, not because he wants something new, but because Barca isn't good enough for him to win. I don't think this match says anything else about Messi's future, as I didn't think the Sevilla match mattered either, or the Athletic Club Spanish Super Cup final. The presidential election will matter on the subject of Messi's future, or Messi's already decided his future. I think the finances and how they are handled will also be a big indication of what this team can do to continue to overhaul the squad for next season and whether or not Messi can get behind that sporting project very, very quickly. But they're going to need a miracle on the finances. 2007 was the last time Barca lost in the round of 16. And I did get to thinking, how lucky have we been? As silly as it is, it almost feels like every time when Barcelona is blown out this way, it does feel like almost as if someone had died. Maybe not a person, but like a pet. Where how lucky have you been to have the moments with them and you kind of get nostalgic about all the good times because how Barcelona are now in the moment they are, where we have not seen this poor a Barca performance in the Champions League in this round, again, since 2007. As the end of this Barca era continues, though as I've said, I feel like this is chapter 1 of the new era, but maybe it really is the final chapter. Even though not all the veterans are gone yet, I still think the new era has already begun. The decline started under Valverde and has continued until today. There is talent in this squad, though. There is still magic in Messi's boots, but this team isn't good enough, and that's okay. I think I'll be a bit more fired up for the podcast with Frances, but for now, I think I'm just disappointed. It ruins your day to watch your team get not only beaten, but demolished again. Bayern was supposed to be the worst moment. It still is, but this wasn't much better. The game plan was there, and it did hold well for 30 minutes, but players weren't sharp enough, not fast enough anymore, not focused enough. They wanted it. You could see they wanted it, but they weren't good enough. And that's what hurts the most. Champions League is over in one game. That stinks. And this is the season we all expected. You can say in the comments how shambolic Barca is. And some people like reminding everyone with any hope about just how bad Barca is and embarrass them when they try to enjoy Barca playing. Let those people have their day. Let them spread their negativity. Let them tell you all the reasons why Dembélé, Griezmann, Lenglet, Dest, Piqué, Alba, Ter Stegen, Busquets are all terrible. Why Messi is definitely leaving. Why the young players aren't going to be good enough. This is their day. For me, I'll keep looking towards the future when Barcelona is Barca again, because the foundation still remains. Until then, well, I guess this weekend at least, or even for the podcast that's coming out in a few days, Forza Barca.
अरे वन नंबर को भी बैठा ले. You go.
You go northeast.
Help!
You're right. Network security is important for any organization.
Help!
You know, you should take...
What's up, guys? How's everyone doing? How's everyone handling that that embarrassment that we went through? Because to be honest, like, just looking at that match, like, I really thought, right, and I was explaining this in the beginning of the video. I really thought that Barcelona were going to pull through. I thought that Barcelona were going to get at least a 2-0, 3, or maybe even a 3-1 win at the Camp Nou, but it just wasn't the case.
You are too
it really
far.
wasn't the case because I don't know, man. I just thought that
Bro, you are too far.
Barcelona were going to pull through, but they didn't. Because if you actually think about it, you look at the starting lineup that Koeman placed on the field. It was Jordi Alba on the left, Langley and Gerard Piqué as the center back duo, and then we had Busquets in that central defensive midfield position. Those are 4 players, right? 4 players that participated in the match against Roma. In the Anfield against Liverpool and against Bayern Munich, right? It has already been proven that when you start those 4 players in the starting 11, there might be a chance that we could go through an embarrassment. And like in my previous live and on my YouTube, I was also explaining that this could easily be fixed, right? We could use Jordi Alba, we could use Piqué, we could use Sergio Busquets, but the last thing you want to do is to place Langley right next to Piqué, because that's never going to work out. And you guys know exactly what I'm talking about. I talked about this last time. I talked about how Langley is just not mobile enough to compete against a player like Kylian Mbappe. Pochettino did see that, right, throughout the game. Like, it only took him about 15 to 20, actually maybe into the second half, for him to realize and say that, wait a minute, Langley does not look like he's ready to defend against a great pacey player. Let's move Kylian Mbappe more centrally, right? He told Kylian Mbappe, look, these are going to be your instructions. You don't have to work around Serginho Dest, because Dest is a player that can compete with you when it comes to the pace, the speed. He will track you down. But let's just put you more into the center and just see what happens. Go through that 3 diamond players, which is Busquets, Langley, and Piqué, and just see what happens. Run through there and see what happens. And that is exactly what Kylian Mbappe did in the second half, throughout the whole course of the second half of the game. And that is why it worked out so well for PSG. That is why they scored 3 goals in the second half, because that game plan did work. Pochettino knew the vulnerability that this Barcelona team did have, and it was through the center. It was quite clear. Instead of Kylian Mbappe's original idea with Pochettino was, okay, instead of working around Serginho Dest and try to make those runs, right, on Serginho Dest right side, let's have Kylian Mbappe receive the ball and go on Serginho Dest left side and go more centrally. That's how simple it was. That's literally all it took for Pochettino to take down Barcelona. It was that small tweak. And notice how, like, those small details can completely change the whole course of the results. And so it's staggering to me, right? I'm trying to read your guys' let's see. I don't even know where to start. Let's see. How do you feel about the loss? I just feel like we could have done more. I feel like Koeman could have done more. I feel like he should have learned his lesson from the previous 2 Champions Leagues, right? Why would you start Lenglet, Piqué, Busquets, and then Jordi Alba on the left? You were asking for a disaster. I can't wait for Ronald Araujo to return. Yeah, I can't wait to see Ronald Araujo to come back to this Barcelona defensive line, because I just think that looking at this game, Araujo is greatly needed for Koeman's Barcelona. This game showed that Araujo is very important to Barcelona's starting 11. Ronald Araujo deserves to start, and I do think that going into the second leg, I don't see PSG scoring 4 goals up against Barcelona, but I do see them scoring up against Barcelona. I don't know how many, but I do think that Barcelona is going to be more defensively prepared. But is that going to be enough for Barcelona to not concede any goals in France, right? That's going to be the ultimate question. And the other question is going to be, is our attack going to be good enough going up against PSG? Is Ansu Fati going to be starting? Because looking at how Piqué just started after like being away from game time, right, for the past 2 or 3 months, and seeing how he just started out of nowhere up against PSG, I have no doubt that Koeman is going to go into that second leg, and once he sees Ansu Fati finally returning and getting the green light from the medical team, he is going to use him right away. I do see Koeman using Ansu Fati right away. I do see Ansu Fati playing as a left winger alongside Messi and Dembele. I think that that's going to be the game plan, because I just believe that when you do have a pacey player on the right and a pacey player on the left, it's just going to bring more solutions towards your team, more options towards your team. And yeah, is Kevin finally going live early? Damn, PSG really did hurt you. Yeah, I mean, the only reason why I'm going live right now is because I do have class in about 10 minutes, so I'd rather just bang this in right now. Disgusting match to watch. Yes, it was a complete embarrassment. Lenglet out, Piqué out, Sergio Busquets out, and Jordi Alba out. No, that's not the point that I'm trying to make. I don't know if you guys have seen, right? Like on TV, Piqué was screaming at the players. He was screaming at Antoine Griezmann. He was screaming at Busquets, screaming at Jordi Alba, and saying like, "Look, what are we doing here? Like, we're running all over the place because they're controlling the tempo. They're the players that are controlling this game. We're not controlling this game. We're supposed to be the ones controlling the tempo and the game. We're not doing any of that. PSG is completely running towards us. What's going on, right? That was basically what Piqué was trying to say to the players on the field, because after those first 10 minutes of the first half, right, Barcelona completely lost their control. PSG were completely running down Barcelona, and Piqué knew that. And that is the type of captain we need in that defensive line. And so I do not want Piqué out. I think that he still has a spot in this team, but he does need to have the correct center back alongside with him. Koeman was not smart enough in today's game to figure that out. The answer was not Lenglet. It was not Lenglet. And we saw that play out inside the box. Kylian Mbappe was so good at knowing who was going to be the weakest player in that defensive line, and he took him down so easily. And that goal from Kylian Mbappe really reminded me of the 2018 World Cup goal against Argentina, where he took down like a couple of defenders and then scored that goal with his left foot. It's very similar. So no, I do not think that Piqué is going to be out. I don't see Sergio Busquets being out either, but I do see Lenglet being out. I really do see that player being out, especially when that new president does come in. I do see Lenglet coming out. And let me tell you guys, I know that we have heard recent reports and stories about Barcelona extending the contract of Lenglet. They did that for a reason. They did that to keep the value of Lenglet, to sell him as much as possible, to get the most value from this player as much as possible. They did that for a reason. So it's not just because they believe that they could keep him for the next 4 to 5 years. If he needs to be sold, Barcelona know that yes, we can sell you, and you're probably going to be in the range of around 30 million euros, 40 million euros. If Araujo was here, he would have won. No, I don't even think that if Ronald Araujo was there, we would have won. I do think that Barcelona would have conceded less. When is Ansu Fati coming back? Ansu Fati is going to be coming back by the end of this month, or around the beginning of March. and by that time, before the second leg does come back, I see Ansu Fati playing in that second leg. I see Ansu Fati being implemented into the starting 11 immediately, because I know how Koeman is, and seeing what he has done with Piquet, there is something to learn from how Koeman likes to set his players throughout the season. Possible for another remontada. That's only possible if Barcelona go into this game with the correct mindset. If Barcelona do not go in with the correct mindset and they don't believe that they could come back, then I just don't see it happening. I really don't. And looking at the mindset and how they approach PSG in today's game, if we approach them in the exact same way, it's not going to be happening. So a massive change needs to happen. And I think that the first step towards having a remontada against PSG in the second leg would be to beat Sevilla first in the Copa del Rey. That is our first mini remontada. We have to beat that 2-0 deficit against Sevilla. That is the first step. If we could do that, then there is a chance that this Barcelona team would be ready and peak at the right time to do another remontada against PSG. But it's going to be extremely hard. Do you think we have a better shot versus Sevilla or PSG? Sevilla. And I'm saying this again. The biggest chance of us winning a trophy would be the Copa del Rey, and then it will be La Liga, and then the Champions League. Man, I can't even look at TikTok. Everyone hates. Yeah, I mean, TikTok is full of people who are like around the age of 10 to like 15 years old. It's just, it's normal. I was like that too on Bleacher Report. So, yeah. If you can't take comments like that, just go like on Instagram or something. Proper arguments. If they can score 4, we can score 6. Yeah, that is exactly what the coach did say. But the coach is not here today. That coach is gone. Who knows if Barcelona is going to be able to compete against this deficit? We don't deserve Lionel Messi. I think that we do. I think that Barcelona as a club deserves Messi. Mbappe is world class. Yeah, Kylian Mbappe is world class, and that is the reason why I was explaining this in the past 2 videos in the pre-match preview. Everyone was saying like, "Oh no, Kylian Mbappe is not going to be the only threat." They also have Keane and some other players in that front line. But I said time and time again, this is a PSG team that does not have an identity yet. This is a brand new PSG team under Pochettino. They do not know how they're going to be playing for the next couple of games. They don't know how this PSG team is going to be looking like by the next season. So what are they going to do? What they're going to do is just try to bet on their best players that they have in their disposal. Get the ball as soon as possible, win possession, and pass it towards Kylian Mbappe. That is the only thing they could do because they don't have an identity. And that's normal. Every team goes through that. Every team does go through that. When a team... Ronald Koeman showed that with Barcelona in the beginning of this season. When this team did not have an identity yet, we fall through Lionel Messi. Now, this is a team that scores with Frankie de Jong. This is a team that scores with Antoine Griezmann, Dembélé. We've been showing that for the past couple of games, right? But we fell through up against PSG. But I don't know how I got to Mbappe is world class. Yeah. I don't know how I got to that conversation. But yeah, Kylian Mbappe is, he's world class. Kylian Mbappe is world class, and I explain time and time again, we should be very careful with that player. And Barcelona, we're not careful enough. You know what's crazy? Why do I feel like we are doing a better job on knowing what's going to be the biggest threat for Barcelona than Ronald Koeman, right? Because if he was to know that, he would put Mingueza right next to Gerard Piqué, right? He would not put Frankie de Jong as a center back in second half. Like, he would not make those type of decisions, right? I don't get it. I don't get how that's another conversation, right? I don't get how you put Frankie de Jong as a center back while he was actually one of the only players that gave you that goal threat. He made that run in the first half of this game in the penalty box where Messi found him perfectly. And that is how we scored, and that is how we scored the first goal. Why couldn't we do more of that? Why would you put Frankie de Jong in that defensive line? That makes no... And I question the substitutions of Koeman. Like, I praise you for what you have done for bringing an emerging Pedri and Ansu Fati and all of these youngsters, Mingueza, Ronald Araujo, Dest, whatever, right? It's great. I love that. I love what Ronald Koeman is doing. But I just think that the substitutions and the decision making that he's doing throughout the games is just not good enough. It's not good enough, and I do think that it is going to greatly harm Ronald Koeman in the future. That was our strongest 11 too. Yes, that was our strongest 11 available. We had other players that were injured, right? But it's just unfortunate. We need to get a new president. Yeah, I do think that a solution is a new president, but that's not going to be a short-term solution. Bringing in a new president is going to be the beginning of building a foundation in a certain club. That is what it's used for. It's not just a short-term solution where the president is literally going to come on the field and score a hat-trick against PSG. That's not how it's going to work. How do you think? Okay, what do you think about Barcelona after yesterday's loss? That's crazy how he said yesterday, because for me, it's a couple of hours ago. Time difference. Do you think they can win the second leg? Yeah, it's possible. But do I think that's going to be enough to come back? I have no idea. If Barcelona wins 3-0, and that's what bothers me the most, is that if Barcelona wins 3-0, if Barcelona wins 3-0, PSG still go through. I miss 2015. Yeah, me too. Des needs to be appreciated as a Mexico fan. Kind of jealous we don't have that type of talent, but as a Barca fan, he did great. Job versus Kylian Mbappe. Yeah, I think that Sergio Des did very well on that right side. He did not look 100% fresh, but he did very well when it comes to keeping up with Kylian Mbappe. But it was that tactical tweak. It was that smart move coming from Pochettino to say that get away from Dest, get yourself more centralized on the pitch, because the weakest area in this Barcelona defensive line is through the middle. It's between Busquets, Lenglet, and Gerard Piqué. And this is another thing that bothers me the most, right? Is the fact that if you want to compete and you want to be a great team again, you cannot continue to have those leaks in your defensive line. You cannot continue to have those weak areas in your defensive line or in the midfield line. You cannot have that. You cannot just say to your team and say, go through those areas where they are found to be the most vulnerable. Barcelona cannot be like that. If Barcelona want to be great, we have to be strong in all areas. We cannot continue to give out weaknesses like that. And so a massive rehaul does need to happen in that defensive line, not throughout the whole team. I do think that this is still a Barcelona team that has a great foundation, but in that defensive line, there's some tweaks that need to be made. And I really wish Koundé could come to Barcelona. I really wish that. I'm a big fan of Koundé. I just wish Koundé could come. I wish that could be it, but we don't have money. So, yeah, that's just where I stand right now. Bro, at this point, we could get humiliated because it's the same defense for 5 years and we lose and repeat the exact same lineup. Yeah, the exact same lineup that was placed against PSG was placed against Liverpool and Bayern Munich. It's like Koeman did not learn a single lesson from those matches. Did you see the argument between Gerard Piqué and Antoine Griezmann? Yes, it is because it's due to frustration. It's very simple. It's due to frustration, and Piqué was there to command and act as a captain, which is something that we have talked about before. That is his role. What do you think about a comeback? A comeback it's possible, but it's a slight chance. I just don't see. I'm not comfortable with telling you that Barcelona have a 50% chance of coming back in this match. I just don't see that happening. I think that there's a 20% chance of Barcelona coming back. And Barcelona can actually win against PSG. They can win in France, but the question is it going to be enough? That is the biggest question. Could we score 4 goals in France? Wijnaldum to replace Busquets? Yeah, I think that's another thing that I really wish could have happened in the summer, is that I wish Wijnaldum was in this team right now to completely shut down Kylian Mbappe, because Kylian Mbappe was just walking through Busquets. He was walking through Busquets. He was not running through Busquets. He was walking through Busquets. And that is why you see that picture of Gerard Piqué pulling the shirt of Kylian Mbappe. There's a picture. I don't know if you guys have seen that, but Piqué was pulling the shirt of Kylian Mbappe. Why? It was because Kylian Mbappe was walking through the middle, because there was no defensive coverage through the inside the midfield. And poor Pedri, right? Poor Pedri. He could not do anything. And he's young. I have nothing to say about Pedri. But I do have one last thing to say though. I just think that even no.
Do you want to learn how to hack into systems as an ethical hacker? Check this. I've used this Linux computer to hack into this Windows machine. So right now I can remotely control it and do anything a normal user can do. I can even turn on the webcam with a press of a button. Watch. Creepy, huh? My name is Zaid. I'm an ethical hacker, a computer scientist, and the founder and CTO of the cybersecurity company Z Security. My ethical hacking courses have helped hundreds of thousands of students obtain the skills they need to test the security of their systems or pursue a career in ethical hacking.
Shattered dreams and broken heart, I'm mending on the shelf. I saw you holding hands, standing close to someone else. Now I sit all alone, wishing all my feeling was gone. I gave my best to you, nothing for me to do, but I've one last cry, before I leave it all behind. I've gotta put you out of my mind this time. Stop living a lie. I guess I'm down to my last cry. I was here, you were there. Guess we never could agree. While the sun shines on you, I need some love to rain on me. Still I sit all alone, wishing all my feeling was gone. Gotta get over you, nothing for me to do, but I've one last cry, before I leave it all behind. I've gotta put you out of my mind this time. Stop living a lie. I know I've gotta be strong, 'cause round me life goes on and on and on and on. But I've one last cry, before I leave it all behind. I've gotta put you out of my mind for the very last time. Been living a lie. I guess I'm down. I guess I'm down. I guess
find me here and speak to me. I want to feel you. I need to hear you. You are the light that's leading me to the place where I find peace again. The strength that keeps me walking. You are the hope that keeps me trusting. You are the life to my soul. You are my purpose. You're everything. And how can I stand here with you and not be moved by you? Wouldn't you tell me how could it be any better than that? Yeah. You calm the storms. You give me rest. You hold me in your hands. You won't let me fall. You still my heart, and you take my breath away. Would you take me